Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us on another episode of the Coffee Roaster Warm-Up Sessions podcast. It's been a while. I mean, not that long, just 2 weeks.
Yeah, we missed last week.
We did miss last week. We're away for Sergei's birthday, and we went down to Portland. It's just, I don't know, it's just turned into like an annual Sergei's birthday celebration. For some reason, out of all of us, he gets a trip out of town with 6 other people, which is, I mean, great. I'm not mad. It's fun.
It actually started to give some reference. It didn't start with my birthday. It started with, the first one we went was to Rainier. That was for fun, and we chose
on your
weekend,
birthday.
on my birthday, right. But the second one, when we went to Portland, was because we needed to do a mere workday trip. And we did.
Okay, guys, I can't stand behind this.
Yeah.
Okay, that was a mere workday trip, but it was conjunction.
2 days before my birthday, and then we celebrated my birthday, and we tagged it along.
In conjunction with your birthday. So, yeah, so that's what we did this last week. Honestly, it was probably the most restful thing I've done in a while. I was there for like 6 days in Portland. And honestly, I drove back into Bellingham. I remember driving in like the last 5-10 exits. I felt like I was gone for literally a month straight. I felt like I actually moved to Portland for a second. It was this weird feeling I'm like, oh, I'm just coming back to visit Bellingham, and this feels so nostalgic, like just driving back to visit, but it wasn't a visit. I'm just back for good. So it actually felt like an extended nice trip. But anyways, we're going to talk about our experience down in Portland, all the cafes we went to, all the brewing that we did. It was delightful. I was pretty pumped about the trip. So
nice.
Yeah.
Well, here's that sip.
It was decent grind size.
I don't know. The bed looked very, very clean. Too clean.
Too clean?
After watching that one Lance video, I think we're going to have to switch to the cone.
No, we tried the cone on the Breville. I would disagree with Lance.
Whoa, hot take.
I don't like all of our experiences with the cone haven't been really great. Mm-hmm. But maybe we just need to actually mess around with it a little bit. But so yeah, I don't know. But also, I'm very curious to buy the spray head, the pour over spray head, for Breville, and I wonder what would happen if you used the pour over spray head, but used the classic basket. You know. So I don't know. I want to pick up the spray head and see what that. But
we need to get Scott to make a
UFO
spray head for the Breville.
We're drinking an Ethiopian coffee. It's limited oxygen, probably an anaerobic. Then that means, I don't know. I think a limited oxygen means anaerobic. I think that's what it is. It's actually down in Portland. Yeah. We picked up this coffee during the trip, and we actually met this guy at a coffee event that we went to, which we'll talk about later on. But we met the guy. He's like, hey, you guys should stop by the cafe. And he just joined their team about a couple months ago as I think it was their green coffee buyer or director of coffee. I don't know. Roaster. Man, I don't remember.
I mean, he was messing with the roaster. I saw him.
That's right. He was clicking them buttons. He was standing by it.
I saw him wipe it off too. So. Maybe he's in charge of maintenance.
Don't know, dude. Oh God, yeah. So yeah, that was great. This was actually from Upper Left Coffee Roasters, which I've been there a handful of times before that. Sergei, it was your first time. Yes. But before we dive into that, this is an Ethiopian coffee from them. Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, it's great. I mean, not the most bonkers coffee I've ever had. It's solid Ethiopian coffee. Yeah, solid Ethiopian. Yeah, it definitely has that Ethiopian-esque. I don't know if I'd say if I taste much of that limited oxygen processing. I would expect it to be way more boozy, but it's it's solid. So
getting some florals, it's a very classic Ethiopian.
Yeah, it's just super classic. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. I'm not amazed, but I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, exactly.
That's
and there is something special about coffees that you just can enjoy. That's it. So, so one of the cafes we went to was Upper Left Coffee Roasters.
Mm-hmm.
What was your experience like? It was your first time there. Yeah. How'd you feel about it?
Man, that really ties into our experience at Sister Coffee.
Right.
But I would say without any connection, like the entrance, I love the entrance. Just the skylight, the width of the entrance. Kind of feels like you're walking into a palace, which is pretty cool. I enjoyed that a lot. Just first experience walking in, I think that was great. Again, like their whole customer service aspect was excellent, and I don't know if it was because we already knew someone there or what. You sometimes get special treatment, but that was excellent. I mean, this is in all reality, full transparency here. They forgot my pastries, like they did. Did
you end up getting them though?
I did.
Okay,
and that's what I was gonna say. Good. They recovered really well because I know what it feels like to be on host and forgetting someone's pastries. You just got to recover well.
It happens.
It
happens. Yes. Have you worked behind the bar or at all? Then you must know what that feels like.
That's fine. You just recover well. But in the recovery was great. They killed it. Geisha said it was like one of her favorite meals.
What?
Because she got that toast.
Toast did look nice.
She said the toast was just excellent. I can't believe it was on her top favorite meals in Portland, which is kind of odd.
Yeah.
But she,
not sure if that's good or disappointing.
Yeah, exactly. It was very memorable.
Yeah.
But that also, when it comes to top favorite meals, I mean, we gotta say that our time at Proud Mary was like,
all right, we'll get there. But I will say about Upper Left though, the space is very unique. Mm-hmm. I like the way that it just jives with me that it's just on the corner. It's got this pointed, the outdoor seating. I think their seating was really dialed and clean and awesome. Yeah. I don't know, something like I jive with that like triangular shape building. I don't know what it is. Like every time I walk or drive by, oh gosh, what just happened? My brain turned off. I'm starving, by the way. The guys in Bellingham?
Nomad?
No, right across the street from there.
Camber?
No, the other way.
The other way across the street.
Black Roast, Black Drop.
Black Roast. Oh yeah.
That building that they used to be in, that triangle building. Oh man, I don't know what it is. That aesthetic is it just vibes with me. I just love it. So I like Upper Left as like, their location, the building. Yeah. It's a vibe. It's also a small little roastery. To be honest, I have no idea how they roast in there. It's probably the same size as our roastery.
Yeah,
no?
It's pretty. I mean, because of the awkward shape, probably.
The awkward shape,
square footage. And you can't really utilize a corner for storing green.
Yeah. So I'm like pretty impressive to pull that off because I think we're kind of tight on space ourselves. So, So the other location, I mean, you talked about Proud Mary. Mm-hmm. Friends, if you're a consistent listener of the podcast, Proud Mary's always a vibe.
Yeah.
There's very few times do I have something poor to say about Proud Mary. And most of the times, they've knocked it out of the park so many times with my experiences that one or two bad situations, I'm like, I get it. Like the pastry situation. Yeah, sure.
Recover well.
I get it. You just recover, you serve another geisha and it's pink. Okay, that's it.
That's totally fine.
You just give me the COE number 2 and it slaps. That's it.
Totally fine.
Yeah. So, when was the last time you were at Proud Mary before this?
Well, during the initial kind of lockdowns when we go in last year, right? 2021.
Right. We did go.
We went.
But they were pretty closed.
They were pretty closed. We sat outside. Got fantastic service. still outside, and it was excellent. It was a vibe. It was a mood.
The coffees I think last time were actually better.
Well, they had 12 different coffees, and they're all like whoosh whoosh.
I don't understand how they do it. Wild. You have a 12 coffee menu on pour overs. Imagine
all roasted by them.
How do they even dial in 12 pour overs at the beginning of the day?
They just stay dialed.
Why do you have to redial if you're always dialed? Tell me. Yeah, so I thought last year's offerings when we were there, I mean, there was also like 14 of them, but those were coffees that were memorable. I actually think I said that they were probably one of my favorite all-time coffees from Proud Mary.
Wow.
The last time we went there. But anyways, this time.
Yeah, it was a great menu. Definitely slimmer. They had 3 different offerings on espresso, all from PNG, Papua New Guinea. Processed 3 different ways. So they had a washed, they had a honey, and they had a anaerobic natural. Yeah. And I got the anaerobic natural espresso, which was great. It's not, again, it wasn't mind blowing. It was just tasty, solid. And then on pour over, they had the Bernardina, right? From El Salvador is what you got.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
and then Deja got the Yemenia from Yemen, from Kima Coffee. And then I got the Alita Estate, the Panama Geisha, which just, I mean, if you know Alita Estate, the coffee's going to slap.
Yeah,
Yeah. It's great. It's a wonderful coffee. It was roasted well. It was brewed well.
Yeah.
Yeah. It was excellent.
I think I went there a couple times before our trip, during the same trip, just other mornings. I don't know what I was. Oh my gosh, my brain is barely functioning. Was there a couple times, and I got the other pour over options. And to be honest, out of all of them, the Panama Geisha was very tasty. Yeah, it was just bonkers. The silkiness, it was just a classic geisha, but amazing.
Yeah,
and not all geishas are great, to be honest. You shouldn't fall for the geisha, I don't know, trickery or deceivement. But this Panama Geisha from Alita State was truly next level. Like, I wish I got that instead of what I got, but I'm just being picky now.
I mean, we had a great lineup, and I think out of all of us had different coffees, so we got to sip on one another's. The guest service was like unreal, like dry smells. Man. I don't know if that's a common thing, but I feel like
it is.
We get like excellent, like special service every single time we go, and we're not really special, and we get it. It's unreal. Like, it's so good. Like,
yeah, the guest service there is truly incredible, and all the times that I've went there, that trip was truly just immaculate, and the sniffs that they bring out the coffee ground to you with a small little postcard with all the information. It's just truly like an experience. Like, when we talk about a creative coffee experience that's just really energizing, inspiring, that is just full of creativity and inspiration, that's it. Like, they do a really great job. And like you said, and I would agree, the only reason why I'd probably go to Texas right now is probably to go to their second location, which I don't know if they've opened yet, but they're soon going to be there. But yeah.
And definitely my favorite drink at Proud Mary was the Baby Chino. That was unreal.
Oh gosh, that was incredible.
Rain downed that thing. That was incredible. I haven't seen drink presentation to that level. It was Baby Chino, and was incredible.
The satisfaction on Rain's face was 11 out of 10. She knew exactly what to do with it, and just all in the face, and
it was excellent.
But that being said, we went to a couple other cafes and whatnot, but there was one unfortunate experience for you, Sergei. We're not going to dwell a little too much on that because it's coming right after Proud Mary. It's a high bar to live up against, but
I don't know if I'll ever return
to the
cafe again. Do I even have to drop the name? If you follow me on Instagram, I've got way too many DMs in response to my little post.
It was a hot take.
It was a hot take. I mean, but it wasn't super hot. It was basically a pour over temp kind of take, because basically what happened is I just did not like my service, and it spoiled the whole experience. And the reason I didn't like my service was because standing at host next to a barista who did not welcome me. I don't know if they were just overwhelmed by seeing like there was more than 2 people in the shop. Maybe that was a problem. Maybe it's a kind of a 2-person shop kind of thing. I don't know. Like, I don't get it. I don't think it was busy. It wasn't even busy. Maybe there was a few people coming up.
I mean, the 6 of us when it walked in.
I mean, yes, we were in a group of 6. Maybe that was intimidating. Hefty, yeah. I don't know. Anyway, but I was not greeted. I mean, even the person who was making drinks did not make eye contact with me, which is, I'm being picky here. I get it, but it means a lot to me. On top of that, when I tried to order, there was so much confusion. One, did you see a menu? Did they have menus there? Did I miss a menu? I didn't even see a menu. And everything started with the fact that I asked for what kind of espresso are y'all serving? And I don't even know if I even got an answer. And maybe that like frazzled them. Anyway, I walked away feeling completely discouraged. And I'm like, I will never ask you another question about coffee. I'm a Pelican. I don't know what I'm talking about. Like, just give me a freaking 16-ounce latte and I'll leave. But I just got an espresso and then tasted the espresso and I was like, no bueno. Bye.
Oh, gosh. You know, I'm a little bit more optimistic about this situation. And I want to give the benefit of the doubt. Because, you know, as a barista, there are many things. Whether you get intimidated with 6 people walking in, you woke up on the wrong side of the bed, you know, you tripped over your cat on the way out and got a bloody nose. like the you know, anything, like your car didn't start in the morning, so you had a bike to work. I don't know, you know. But what I was kind of just raking my brain about that situation was, to what extent can you give grace to a bad customer experience? You know, like, I try to always, once again, be optimistic. Like, hey, we're people. We have complicated lives, complex lives. It's going to be hard some days to show up to work. I get that. I understand that. But to what extent, especially for working directly with people, to what extent can you just not give them a great experience? You know, like, there's got to be a little bit of understanding from both sides. Like, hey, I understand that, you know, you're a human being. You have a difficult life and you may not have wanted to show up to work. But then I hope that you can understand, like, hey, I have some weird things going on in my life, but this person has nothing to do with my life.
Yeah.
And I need to serve them because they're here and they're showing up. You know, like, to what extent can you know, let bad customer service pass by you?
Yeah.
You know, and in some ways it's acceptable, in some ways it's not. And that's kind of that's kind of rough. But I also think that bad customer service is bad customer service. That's it. And to be honest, I actually would take a subpar coffee with amazing customer service than spectacular coffee with really bad customer service.
Yeah, and there's 2, I think, key elements to good customer service. And don't want to make a podcast of it. We've talked about this way too many times. This is not the right episode for it. But again, like, welcoming is just key. Like, please tell me that you want me to be here and not just me get my coffee and get out of there.
Right.
Like, there's something important about welcoming. Just, I mean, a smile. Hey, how's your day going? Like, I know I work in guest service, and I know those questions are sometimes simply almost like a script. You're just saying, hey, how's it going?
Right.
But you may not. But the fact that you said, hey, how's it going, is more than what can I get you?
Yeah.
You know, there's a different attitude. And it's not about, like, a lot of the time it's not about what you say, it's how you say it. And there you can say very difficult things with a good attitude. Right. And it's not as, like, you know, it's disarming. It's just a much better experience. But anyway, like, I guess that was my bad experience. And then the 20 other people that DM'd me and said they had the same bad experience. So I don't know if there's any truth to that.
Oh gosh, yeah, that's just tough. But anyways, Sergei was really bummed the rest of the day. I was like, that's why I was like, hey, can we just go to upper left? Maybe it'll cover up the.
That was fun.
The poor experience. So, yeah. That being said, we didn't just go to cafes. We grabbed some mere beans, some bins, and I was shocked. Sergei went on a hike with Rain on his back.
Yep.
Rain was sitting inside of a backpack that you had on your shoulders. It's not literally a backpack. She wasn't like stuffed in there, but it's like a baby like carry. I don't even know what they're called.
It's like an osprey framed pack for children.
It's like a backpack for children to sit in there. And I was surprised Sergei just lugged up the hill and the mountain, was leading the pack almost, and it was a powerful experience with some tasty Colombian River Gorge views, and of course, like always, we bring the coffee setup. And
had to.
And the question is, Serge, why would you brew coffee after you've been hiking for 6 miles? You're exhausted, you're tired. You should have just gotten a coffee to go when you were, before the hike. Why bring the stuff?
I mean, just for the sake of brewing. Brewing in the wilderness is fun. There's nothing like firing up the jet boil. Well, usually I bring my kettle, but I was already carrying a lot of weight. I didn't bring my kettle. But getting the little camp stove burner that's foldable. It's just exciting. There's so much excitement behind the process. I mean, if you watch a little reel video that you posted on our IG.
Right.
It just the stir in my mouth, like on one knee. It's raw. There's... I don't know, the whole vibe. It's not about even drinking the coffee. And the coffee always tastes good in the wilderness. I mean, we missed fishing season this year. That's the other place that we brew coffee, right on the dock, on the water.
That's unfortunate,
But, there's something about the atmosphere. Yes, the beverage is great, but packing all the gear together, the whole process is quite phenomenal.
Grinding with a freaking Comandante, getting a tasty brew going, and it's just such a solid experience. If you have never brewed coffee outdoors, please, you maybe not go on a hike and then try to brew it, but really go to a local park, literally pull over, go sit behind one of those picnic tables, brew up a coffee outside and enjoy it. It's like a complete different experience, You want to go extreme, grab your flare, go out there, pull some shots. That's the next step is we want to take a flare up into the mountains and brew stuff outside and outdoors. But that being said, I'm reminded of the time we almost died on Chain Lake trails. That was crazy, but that morning brew during sunrise.
Yeah.
Oh man, after 2 hours of sleep or any hours of sleep, frozen and just barely pushing the AeroPress down and seeing the sunrise behind the mountains is just immaculate. Like everything, like a hard 10 out of 10. That's it.
I think next time I should bring some milk, throw it in your jet boil, and get a little AeroPress and just steam up some milk, transfer into a pitcher.
I was going to say, yeah.
Dude, man, powerful experiences possible in the wilderness. I mean, there's so much possibilities. We just need to hit up, Tanner and see if he can spread some of the flare magic.
Yeah, exactly. Tanner's brewing the flare on like Grand Tetons his last video. I was like, come on. This is so good. Yeah, it was powerful. But it was just such a good experience. Highly recommend it. But and then lastly, we're in town and the Cup of Excellence and Onyx were hosting a tasting event, which was extraordinary. Sergei, fill the folks in on what just happened.
Complete surprise. Had no idea. You sent me that Instagram story and literally after watching the story went and secured and reserved a spot. It was basically like the Villatoro family from Guatemala, Roden, his dad and his brother, right? What was his brother's name? His cousin came together to present some of the coffees that were nominated for the Cup of Excellence, who placed really high. Edwin was there, Edwin Martinez, who was previously been on the podcast. Also the founder and owner of Onyx Coffee, and the producer of coffees from Finca Vista Hermosa. Some of his coffees were on the table, tasted unreal, beautiful, tasty. I think Geishas, right? What is it?
I think so.
Something like that. Something tasty. It was good. The whole experience was so small and intimate. I expected a bigger turnout, so I thought we would be lost in the crowd.
Yeah.
But we weren't. We sniffed coffees next to the man, the myth, the dad, Viatoro, Aurelio. Yeah. Sniffed some coffees right next to him. The funny thing, one of my highlights is we tried to talk to him in Spanish. Said a couple of sentences as if we could speak Spanish.
Almost thought it.
He almost believed it.
We got him.
We got him. He went in on the convo and started sharing things that we had no idea what he was saying, because we actually I don't speak Spanish good enough to be able to hold a proper conversation with the man, the myth. But then we had a great time with Rodin. He spoke great English and just shared about things at the farm level that were sobering, were eye-opening. But the whole idea of when you hear this directly from a producer's mouth, from a farmer, it just hits different.
For sure. I think that was extremely memorable. Like, to be able to cup like world-renowned coffees right next to a family that has placed like over 20 times in the Cup of Excellence in Guatemala is unreal. Like, I don't know if anybody else even felt that way there, but I was like, dude, this is such an honor. Like, these are legendary people who are crushing the game, who have literally are generational, passing down this craft that make tasty coffees happen. Was just so honoring and humbling. And the fact that, like, dude, Rodin and the guys were like, dude, you guys are the two brothers. I was like, what?
Surreal.
I'm like, what's going on? How do you know me? You know, and it was, those moments are like really what we've always, like, the reason why we started this whole thing is like fostering relationships like that. And yeah, like the stuff that Rodin was telling us from the farm level, it's completely different hearing it from the producer himself than reading it in an article, in a blog post, on an Instagram carousel. Like, it's like, okay, great. But when you're talking to the people right there, right in front of you, who are actually giving you insights into stuff I've actually never heard ever from any blog post, from anything, when he was telling stuff like, you know, some of the like incentives that like the Colombian government was giving to farmers, and how the government in Guatemala was, you know, a little different, that made it a little more challenging for them. Stuff like that. I'm like, wow, I didn't even know.
Yeah.
And you know, like, just like a lot of those things where we talked about processing, and he shared some insights about what they were doing, and some of the practices around there, and just, it was just so insightful. And one of my favorite things that he said was, he talked about storytelling, and that literally blew my socks off, because it felt like this divine, supernatural moment where he literally said, like, hey, I actually wish that the people drinking the coffee would know more of what's going on at the farm level and be able to see and experience that.
Yeah.
And I'm literally holding my camera in my hand, and I'm like, Rodin, this camera that I'm holding in my hand, this is the goal that we want to accomplish.
Yeah.
Is literally, we want to tell those stories in a very beautiful, cinematic, incredible way, and bring that to the coffee drinker who's literally drinking these coffees from this exact farmer and, you know, producer. That was mind-shattering.
That was iconic. And to feel the chemistry and like the syncretism between his passion and our vision, like, it just went together so well. And that was super encouraging to know that a farmer and a producer finds value in storytelling in the same way we as a roaster and coffee consumers find value in that. So that was like very energizing. That was awesome. I'm stoked on it. I can't wait to be at the farm with Rodin, with the Viatoro family.
And I mean, yeah, that was just surreal to be drinking those. Like, those coffees were unreal. For some of the best Guatemalan coffees I've had ever in my life. right there, right on the table, right in front of me with these producers. And and stuff like, I mean, he was just so relatable, relational. And the fact that he was like, dude, we would love to work on stuff specifically for Mir. I was like,
it was awesome.
You best believe it. And from that day, I was like, I hit up Onyx and was like, hey, Maddie, we need a coffee from the Via Toros. Yeah. And she's like, we got you. So we got some samples coming our way. So hopefully we'll have a coffee specifically from them soon.
And we have served coffees from them. So this is possibly going to be our second harvest from their family. So stoked on building that relationship, as well as our relationship with Jorge Mendez. That one's been going on. So good. Yeah, a lot of these connections, just big thanks to Onyx Coffee. Again, if you're a roaster who's listening to the pod and you need quality source, just unbelievably like excellent coffees from Guatemala, go check out Onyx.
With excellent customer service, with excellent story, with sustainability, ethical, everything across the board. Really solid people. Go source some Guatemalans from Onyx. Yeah. But it was a packed weekend. There's so much more that we could say, but it was just a really solid weekend that I really enjoyed. Any last words, Serge?
I'm stoked it happened. It flew by in a flash, and now we're back at it, roasting up some more, recording some more pods, and reflecting what's good.
That's excellent, folks. Well, we'll just wrap it up with that. Sergei said the line, and we'll see you guys on another episode of the Coffee Roaster Warm-Up Sessions. We'll see y'all later. Peace.